a brass ring. I don't know how it came to pass. This picture of grief pours peace and sorrow like a single river from its lip into the sea. This me, legs up, grateful in the chair I brought home 6 months ago to recline my dying wife, to lift her to her feet. Silence beats between each stroke of the clock our daughter gave her for Christmas, a circular face bound with fair birch and a brass ring the color of gold. Melancholy is a sweet blanket. A tear may hang for hours before it slips off and shatters. There is always another. It's okay.
The Great Blue Heron by John McGillicuddy. The great blue heron flies under my legs as I stand alone in the middle of a short wooden walking bridge supported by rough and rusty metal beams. The bird's 6-foot wingspan allows it to float under the trestle, spindly legs dangling, seemingly skimming its feathered breast along the top of the careening creek below me. A lone, slow, powerful flap propels the azure, agile creature, emerging in ascent from under the other side of the bridge. Elegant, graceful, soaring now well above the water, disappearing in a flash beyond the creek's tight right bend, leaving me in awe and with dashed hopes for another glimpse. I'm driving in my car, morning errands in my rearview mirror, home a mile beyond. First, my left eye, then my right are filled with the great blue heron, rising like a fired mortar shell straight up, its flight arc curling from one side of the road to the other, blue and white wings extended, the left one north, the other pointed down, a jet flying sideways in an aerial show stunt. The wild bird is above my hood, filling my windshield for an instant, appearing and disappearing like each 4th of July firework rocket. Brilliant and beautiful, fleeting and forever beyond reach.
This is Chris Arvidson reading Little Birds. All of my old friends, the women I mean, the ones I've not seen in years, have changed into little birds. Smaller, not just shorter, shoulders rounded, backs hunched over chests that seem delicate and fragile as little birds. I am shocked when I see them, their heads canted downward, shuffling along, their hands clawed like the feet of little birds. Only their voices have not altered, their words still weighty, their laughter ringing with vitality, no cheeping or thin songs of little birds. When I go home, I gaze for a long time in the mirror, looking for little birds.
This is Mary Struble Deery, and my poem is called The Timekeeper. The clunky plastic clock was a cast-off when it moved into the family cottage, passed along from the Maltbys, who left the island. This abandoned timekeeper has a prominent position perched atop the orange antiqued bookshelf in the great room. After flipping on the breakers in the spring when the cottage is opened, we twist the knob on the back of the clock until her hands inform the correct time. With gold curlicue embellishments decorating her face, she has hummed away and pointed accurately for many summers. But now, after many years, she is entering a new stage. Her vocals seem bewildered. In her confusion, she rings 9 times when it's actually 8. The only times the count is right are noon and midnight. While her voice innocently trips over truthful time, her proud face carries on as if nothing is wrong. She keeps us on our toes. We take note, tally, and tune into the 6 o'clock news at 7 chimes. We count each ding and then make the mental correction. We listen, adjust, and accept. This will be our own wish someday. Gentle understanding when confusion reigns.
Hi, I'm Sarah Archer, and I'm going to read you my poem, Desert Passage at Night. We live in a sky like the indigo skin of the Tuareg, bristling with teeth. A dome not by fact but by thought, views so eternal their only end is to curve, reaches so limitless they trap. Flexible, bound, a lunar net. The emptiness turns to a maze, winds whip snapping past corners only they can sense at the speed that day cuts challenge at night, the clean, calculable efficiency of snapping a neck. Unfollowed by the nothings that gouge a living here, without a track, anonymous, these are the ways we move past dunes like dead camels, white, forgotten, cratering back to sand. Sand, too, is how our skin lives in this space, pricks out an armor underneath the chill. Prints are white, memory clean. There is too much air to be cold in, nothing to touch. We don't know how we move. Maybe we spiral towards some sluggish heart at the unpinnable center of this unwalled, doorless room of veering shades, this cavity as pitch and pale as the inside of a skull.
Cello in Moonlight. The strings pull me to a darkened house, through a door left open, to a room empty, except for a wicker chair, where a woman in a shawl of moonlight sits weeping, a private ritual. Her voice, the cello, her voice. An intruder, I turn to leave. She asked me to stay.
My name is David Radavich, and my poem is called Asters. This is a star that won't stop. Blue, or is it purple? On the edge of colors, a green-yellow eye, many of them, staring at me with no guilt but considerable need, not much time, and dependent on a watered table that glows all periwinkle in its glass infinity. What a galaxy is circling in cool fire.
Exhale by Adrienne Gilman. Standing at the hem of the woods, my shoulders lift, lighter as I exhale. My eyes adjust to bigness, my ears reach, catch a call. Wren, woodpecker, leaves, dancing loose, ready to fly. From saplings who wiggle like children at church, beneath parent trees stretching heavenward. They inhale my sighs, back and forth, our breaths mingle at the edge.